Good evening, everyone. You got Kody Ashmore, Director of Weekly Option Strategies, obviously here at Simpler Trading. And I wanted to talk about a quick trade recap that happened today live in the Simpler Central room. It was a day trade, and we traded in Q. And the reason I want to cover this is because it's a relatively easy setup. It's something I've done for a long time. It's very easy to follow, and all the indicators are free to use, and it's clear and cut, in my opinion, as far as how to use it. But what do you use for this particular setup? It is the anchored VWAP and the session VWAP and just a little bit of support resistance and analyzing the higher time frame. Well, let's go ahead and talk about, well, before we talk about the setup, everyone wants to know kind of like what was happened or the profits. Everyone wants to see the dollars. Well, it was only one contract, right? I went long one, closed one. That's why it says two there. And you can see I went long at 811 and closed it at 862, netting a little over $1,000 per contract. However, I did this across 5 funded accounts at Tradeify, so it turned into a 5K a day. So nothing wrong with that, and I love the ability to leverage across multiple accounts. It really amplifies your wins, in my opinion. But let's talk about the trade. So 5K a day, how did I do that in a few minutes? However, in hindsight, I'm like, man, should have held on. But I'm happy with my exit. Could have gone all the way up here to like 5x the risk, but that's just hindsight. If it would have hit resistance and failed, I would have been even more mad. Always ask yourself, if you start to feel FOMO, would I be more mad if it hit an area where it could have turned and took a loss, or held on for the win? And I'd rather just take the cash at a logical location and continue on. So let's talk about the trade. So first off, if you're part of Simpler Central, check out my live session there, and it goes over all the indexes and why we focused on the NQ and ES. But if we look at the NQ over here, we can see that price rallied up. In this blue line is the 50 SMA. Price consolidated, came down, kissed the 50 SMA, and I was looking for this breakout to happen on the 15-minute time frame. So my thought was, okay, if we're going to get a breakout on the 15-minute time frame, obviously we just have to narrow it down to the 1 minute to see how we're going to trade this particular setup. So what I call this setup is a VWAP reclaim. I'm sure there's a bunch of other fancy words for it, but it's just the anchor VWAP being reclaimed by price, going in the overall trend direction from the higher time frame. That's how I look at it. So right here in the 1 minute chart, this blue line right here is the anchored VWAP for the opening session, so 8:30 Central. So we got a rise price rallied up, right, did a quick little dip, and then whenever price started to this green line right here is the VWAP, right? So it came here, and whenever it came here, and then I was like, close, I waited, and then we got this candle here. All right, so that is triggering me to get long, this candle right here. So waited for a little bit of dip, got long at 811. 811. And then once it got long at 811, price rallied up to this spot right here, and that's where I decided to close. Initial plan was to trail the break even, but however, like I said, the market, actually if I come over here, it'll make a little bit more sense. The market was right here. So here's current price, right? And right here is the gap fill. And this yellow one right here shows how all this support right here, I was expecting it to potentially be resistance as we rallied into it. Obviously, we broke through it and ran. Cool. But at the same time, I'm glad, happy with taking the profits there before it potentially turned around. I didn't. At the moment, honestly, I wasn't sure if we were going to completely go against the gap once the gap fill occurred and we rallied, but so far we're still going strong. So we're approaching gap fill levels, which made me want to be a little bit more cautious, and I guess not cautious, but take profits quickly. You don't have to hold on for everything, and it's better to walk away with cash than zero. And you see from here, we got a 1.7 R, meaning we risked 1 and made 1.7 off. It's close to 2 to 1. We're close enough. Like I said, I'd rather take my 1.7 instead of walking away with 0. If instead of waiting for that 0.2, that 0.2 would have only been how much higher? Right there. Like it could have got it, but 1.7 is close enough. So hit the 1.7 risk reward, and that's pretty much it, really. It's just using VWAPs. So like I said, a quick recap again is consolidating on the 15-minute time frame, hit the 50, looking for this 15-minute to break out. Price came down to the session, the session VWAP. We reclaimed the opening VWAP. That's what triggered us long. Did put a stop at this last swing low, and then just held on for the push up into resistance. And like I said, netted $5,000 off of only using one contract. Not a huge position size. Not losing to lose my bum on a Friday, but that's pretty much it. But yeah, that's it. I hope everyone has an awesome weekend. Be safe, have fun, take time away from the charts. If you have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the comment section. I always do come back and circle around and get to answering them from my personal YouTube page. But like I said, have a great day, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Take care, everybody.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency. It's one of the things that won me